For years, I operated like a problem-solving machine. If a team member, like my brilliant but struggling analyst, Maya, expressed frustration, I'd dive in with facts, data, and solutions. But my attempts to help often felt like adding fuel to a fire, leaving us both feeling misunderstood. I was speaking the language of logic while she was crying out for emotional connection. We were having two different conversations at the same time, a recipe for failure. It was like trying to use a key in the wrong lock. The more I forced it, the more damage I did to our professional relationship. My perspective shifted during a workshop on leadership. The facilitator challenged us to move beyond superficial inquiries. Instead of asking what someone did over the weekend, we were to ask what brought them joy. This led to the moment with David. I took a chance, and instead of asking for a factual project update, I asked him, "What is a value you hold that you feel you have and been able to honor in your work lately?" The silence was heavy. Then, his composure cracked. He spoke not of spreadsheets or deadlines, but of his need to feel like he was contributing to something bigger, a deep-seated social need for identity and belonging. His tears weren't a sign of weakness. They were the gateway to a real conversation. I finally understood. Every interaction has a hidden layer. Is this a factual conversation seeking information? An emotional one seeking empathy? Or a social one about our place in the world? Deep questions are the tools we use to uncover that truth. They invite vulnerability, and in that shared vulnerability, genuine connection is forged. By asking a question that touched upon David's values, I discovered the real issue wasn't his performance, but his purpose. So now I listen differently. I seek to understand the type of conversation someone needs to have before I offer a response. I lead with curiosity, not conclusions. Because the most effective way to be heard is not to speak louder, but to ask a question so profound that it allows the other person to truly find their own voice. Have you ever felt like you're talking, but nobody's really listening? You're having a conversation, but it feels like you and the other person are on completely different planets. What if I told you the reason is surprisingly simple? It's because we're often having different types of conversations at the same time, without even realizing it. Think about it. There are three main kinds of conversations we have. First, there's the "what happened?" conversation. This is all about facts, information, and finding solutions. It's practical. Then there's the "how do we feel?" conversation. This one is all about emotions, validation, and empathy. And finally, there's the "who are we?" conversation. This is about our identity, our place in the world, and our relationship with the other person. The secret to truly connecting is to figure out which conversation is actually happening and then meet the person there. If your friend is sharing their feelings about a tough day, they're in an emotional conversation. Jumping in with a list of solutions is like bringing a calculator to a poetry reading. It just doesn't fit. You need to match their energy with empathy. So, how do we figure this out? The key is asking deep questions. I'm not talking about "how was your day?" I mean questions that invite people to share their values, beliefs, and experiences. Questions like, what's something you're proud of, but don't usually get to talk about? Or, what's a belief you hold that has changed over time? These kinds of questions can feel a bit vulnerable at first. There was actually an experiment where strangers asked each other increasingly personal questions. The result? They felt a profound connection. Some even cried, not from sadness, but from the sheer power of being truly seen and understood. When you ask a deep question, you're not just gathering facts. You're creating a space for someone to share their feelings and their identity. You're signaling that you want to understand them on a deeper level. This vulnerability is the bedrock of genuine connection. It helps you see whether you're in a factual, emotional, or social conversation, allowing you to respond in a way that truly strengthens your bond. So next time you're talking to someone, try it. Ask a question that goes beyond the surface. You'll not only understand them better, but you'll build stronger, more meaningful relationships in every part of your life. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more insights. See you next time.